Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the 17th installment of R.I.P.S Racism in Plain Sight, a broadcast designed to attempt to show you what racism, white supremacy is, and how it works, in an effort to motivate you to produce justice by guaranteeing no one is allowed to be mistreated, and those who need help receive constructive help. Please go to producejustice.com to acquire your copy of the Counter Racist Codebook by Neely Fuller Jr. That being said, we're going to get right into it.
Okay, today I'm going to show you how to properly inform a police officer that you're carrying a handgun in your vehicle. Hope this helps.
So immediately we're observing a race soldier, I would say, but we could also call him a suspected racist. I'm observing how they're very serious and seemingly fearless about the system that they're aware of, the system of white supremacy. And this is very, very bad advice. Victims of racism cannot respond this way to race soldiers known as law enforcement. It would most likely end their immediate death. And non-white people have been trained to fear death a lot. But suspected racists, white people, they're fearless and they're very serious. And this is what I'm getting from this suspected racist gentleman here, that he's very seemingly prepared and aware of that he's in a system. Don't know if many non-white people are aware that we exist in a system of white supremacy where people like him are in charge. They're in charge of all non-white people across the planet. Ms. Action, would you like to share any comments before I continue?
Just when you see someone give you advice, don't just take the advice. Ask yourself, why am I being told this? What do they want me to do? What is the result that I'm going to get? And then you ask them, if I do that, what's going to happen? Well, you can see one result there. One, damaging your vehicle. Two, you're being told to shoot at law enforcement officers. What do you think the result is going to be from doing that?
Precisely, the importance of thinking seriously and asking questions. We do not carry white power, so behaving in this manner is illogical, and it's not something we should attempt to copy from white people, even though we have been trained to be master copiers of them. Continuing. Where's this? Where are we now? Okay, let me get rid of this one so there's not so much stuff.
Oh my God, Jamie! It's Jamie! Wait. All together. It's a nigga!
Oh, yo, stream! Yo, see this?
So, to be expected, not surprising, we 2022 and racism, white supremacy is, of course, still on planet Earth. And I appreciate this clip because we see young racists. I'm not even going to call them a suspected racist because they have mistreated. We just observed them mistreating 3 Black males on the basis of their color. And that's what racism, white supremacy is all about, mistreating non-white people. So that's why I appreciate this clip. And white women most often are under the radar, meaning we don't suspect them of being racist, but in the system of white supremacy, we must suspect white women, white men, white children, white boys, white girls. We must be suspicious of the entire race family, white family, while we are within the system of white supremacy, because it's very dangerous in this system. The black males, their response, I appreciate that they're able to document it and have a report, so we are able to add observe more confirmed racists. But the surprise and the shock, that is because in this system, white people are informed about the system and non-white people are very, very confused. Most of us are not even aware that we are in the system of white supremacy. So when we hear things like nigger, or when we observe the racism in plain sight, we're often very shocked and very surprised and not understanding how or why this is happening. But we need to develop our understanding of the system, so we should expect and counter these sort of interactions. This action, before I continue, would you like to share it?
No, this is pretty much to be expected. Just remember, in the dictionary, the word nigger has no real definition. There's a compensatory definition, victim of racism, but it has no definition. But it means something to them when they see someone who is Black. That's what they think. That's what they say. Victim of racism, someone I'm supposed to mistreat and have a laugh at.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it again and talk about that word really quickly.
Oh my God, Jamie! Jamie! Wait. All together, all together. It's a nigger!
So what's a nigger? According to counter-racist logic, it's a victim of racism, a non-white person. So if you're on planet Earth and you have been classified as not white, then that classification of nigger that fits you, fits myself, or 526, and it's just more evidence that we're in a system of white supremacy, and should be more motivation for us to want and be attempting and working to produce a system of justice, just guaranteeing none of this is allowed to happen. No one is allowed to be mistreated, and those who need help receive constructive help. Very logical, very kind situation we're trying to establish. And if one is unwilling, highly suspect as to why not continuing. So I guess we'll focus on the rape arrangements, which is what is whenever a white person has convinced, I shouldn't have said convinced, whenever a white person deceives a victim of racism, non-white person, into any sort of sexual arrangement, that is a form of rape, because one must really understand that we have been placed, non-white people, into a child position. We have been retarded, held back, mentally sabotaged by racist man and racist woman and racist child. We are not where we should be. When compared to white people, we function like children. They are the only adults on this planet. So when it comes to having sex and pretending that there are boyfriends or husbands or anything like that, that is not actually happening. They are raping us. They have refined the act of rape in such a manner that we are very confused about what's happening to us. But it is rape. So we're going to observe that what happens in these rape arrangements, these tragic arrangements.
front of your face. Being with someone day in and day out, and you pull up and catch him with his ex. And begs for her right in front of your face.
You done fucked me up. You done fucked me up mentally. You doing the same shit. You doing the
This
same
some lifetime
shit.
This is cursing.
This some Lifetime movie shit.
No. Yeah, I wanted to be with her. Record that shit, because I wanted to be with her.
Okay.
What are you fucking pleasing me for?
Story time coming soon.
This is not a relationship with somebody else. We have not been shit for a month.
Really?
Look at what you got yourself into. You didn't want to be shit for the past month. Get out. Go.
Being with someone day in and
I definitely win this seats. So my ex-boyfriend used to be obsessed with Curious George and used to say that I was Curious George and he was whatever the really tall guy was, to the point where he thought it was a funny, good idea that I would love. On my birthday, he posted this. Yeah, that is my face and his face photoshopped into that picture. He loved this picture, used to always send it to me. And that same birthday, he thought it would be an amazing idea that I would love. He got me this, a teddy bear monkey that he said looked like me. He would say I looked like Harambe, and when he broke up with me, his last words were April Fools.
So this is what we observed in those two clips is just victims of racism being mistreated in the worst way imaginable, being sexually sewered by white people, and then, you know, being made jokes, literally. But the tragedy of this is that many victims of racism do not understand that when they are engaging in these interactions, it is very damaging to one's mind and their ability to understand that they are in a system of white supremacy, which is why I suspect we must promote the truth that, hey, you know, it's not really logical to be in a bedroom with a collective of people who have labeled us as their enemy and who are working diligently in all 9 areas of people activity to, you know, make sure we are absolutely pitiful and helpless and unable to sustain ourselves at all. Why are we calling these people our husbands, our friends, our family members? They call us niggers, and they call us a whole bunch of things that mean less than, like minorities and, you know, marginalized people, when ain't they the ones who've been marginalizing us. So we have to really understand the dynamic of non-white people and white people and be brave enough, you know, have the intelligent fear, because it's okay to be afraid of white people or afraid of the system of white supremacy, but being unwilling to discuss the truth and tell the truth about, hey, yeah, maybe white people should not be attempting to form any sort of relationship with non-white people unless it's to establish a system of justice. When that happens, then we can go back to entertaining being with white people sexually, romantically, whatever you want to call it. But until then, we must be willing to, you know what, no more sex with white people. I'm not gonna let them rape me anymore, sexually sewer me and have me super confused with a big smile on my face. Yeah, because white people are not gonna stop having sex with us willingly. Non-white people are going to be the ones who actually have to make that do that. We're going to have to be the ones to have the will to say no more sex with you until the system has been eliminated. Until that, we're going to have a lot more confused victims with big smiles, and white people are not going to stop because in their racist lore, it's been said that they don't feel like a man until they have sex with or until they sexually sue a black female. So I beg all non-white people, please stop having sex with people who may be racist. All white people may be racist if they're able to be. Ms. Ashley, did you want to chime in on any of these clips?
In the first video, you notice how the white male told the black female that this was not a relationship and told her to get out.
Mm.
What if she had asked questions up front? Now, non-white people shouldn't be having sex with white people in the system of white supremacy. But in the code book, it requires you to ask, over 100, isn't it 200 questions before you engage in a non-white person engages in sexual relations with another non-white person? Well, the same should apply here. This white male wanted to have sex with this non-white female. She should have had 1,000 questions up front. One of them, are you going to produce the system of justice? Are you going to end the system of white supremacy? If the answer is no, well, then you're not having sex with that person. And if the answer is yes, have them get back with you when the system of white supremacy is over and the system of justice is in place. And then after that, we can do that. We have to get comfortable with asking ourselves questions before we do stuff and finding out if we're going to get a result that puts us in a better position to getting the constructive results that we need.
Well said. And just a second, what the racist rapist said. This is not a relationship. Get out. That's the mentality they have a lot of times when after they rape a black female. More motivation, please stop allowing these people to sexually sue us. All right, where are we going to? I did have another tragic arrangement. It was a black male with a white woman. That clip may pop up, but we have so much on the screen. To save time, I'm not gonna attempt to find it.
Perfectly normal for them, and this is what they do to one another on a daily basis. When wolves greet, they will want.
And we've covered this. We've covered this in interaction a number of times. We've observed this behavior a number of times on this broadcast. Yeah, I'm to just take it in. This one right here, the kissing of the rodents. And hey, white people have a really interesting relationship with animals, especially dogs. In the system of white supremacy, dogs are actually treated better than non-white people classified as black. That can be easily observed on this planet. But it's just something we stumbled upon. Check out our earlier broadcast where we break it down. Why do white people have such a bizarre relationship with dogs? If Ray was here, I'm sure he'd be more than willing to break it down. All right, where are we going next? Okay, I want to let's see. All right, yeah, we can start from here, I suppose.
My word! An Indian! Say, I seem to be lost. I'm looking for the Taj Mahal, but I can't seem to find it. Crikey, sure is hot in India. Say, maybe you can tell me. What is that ball of fire in the sky?
Sun?
Sun. Interesting. Yes, how peculiar. I'm sure glad we don't have one of those in England. That's where I'm from, by the way. England. My name is Jonathan Smith. I'm an Englishman, and considered quite a handsome one at that. Say, how old are you? Have they invented laws here yet? This was really the crux of my question.
Yes.
Ah, well, never mind.
Hello.
Oh, John Ralph, there you are.
What's going on here then?
I was just talking to this wonderful Indian girl.
Hello, darling. Say, do you know where the Taj Mahal is?
Fascinating. This is what some would call comedy, I suspect. But I find this to be an excellent study of the Yurugu on white people. I think it's very interesting how the person who designed this, arranged this content, they created the white people to be, well, the race soldiers to be very grotesque looking, very, very grotesque looking. And if you pay attention to the words that the characters are saying, it's very telling on how the Yurugu mind works, the white mind, the European mind, some would call it. But he says, do you have laws here? He asked the question, do you have laws here? Because the Yurugu needs like doctrine, it needs paper, it needs something saying, hey, don't mistreat, don't misbehave. You know, non-white people, we you know, it's been said, and I suspect that before the system of white supremacy, we didn't need, you know, laws telling us, hey, don't rape children. You know, it's just something we didn't do. It's just not. It's not a non-white, especially it's not a black thing to do to harm children. But that's just in the system of white supremacy. They did not care about children at all, and the this character design is absolutely bizarre and hilarious at the same time. Their discomfort they get from the sun that was depicted here, that is a really interesting aspect about racist men and racist women, how they can't exist that well in the sun for some reason, and the sun is so-called life-giving. Very bizarre how that happens. When John Brown comes on, he looks like a just grotesque. The characters look grotesque, and maybe that's the artist just showing us how, yeah, this is how we see ourselves. You know, we know we're quite horrible, and we don't care. You know, white power. It's non-white people. It's a job to, you know, eliminate this sort of behavior, because, you know, this entertainment here is making fun of child pedophilia, child rape. You know, that is made a joke in this 1 minute and 32-second piece of content. And I'll pause there and see if folks want to chime in.
Can I be heard?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Greetings. Gratitude for the meeting. Very interesting. We see on screen a very red, sweaty, swollen face. We can go back maybe 40 seconds. What do we see? We see a flask come out. I assume it's liquor, and he's drinking. There's no water involved. It's very. I really ache for young people. Like this terrifies me, and I'm a little. I'm not a man, but I'm not a child or a younger person. But this terrifies me because it's always the manifestation of jokes to divert and pacify the brutality of what non-white people have had to exist in. And seeing this right here is exactly why I used to tell little non-white children, why are you watching cartoons? Like it was a certain point where cartoons just got ugly. Adventure Brothers, SpongeBob, Rugrats, code word for Black children, the Rugrats show. This is all in that same vein of the grotesque, which is look at that. Oh, speak of the devil right here. Very grotesque. Look at that. But that looks like an Englishman and what some would call an Irishman to me. And this is how they function on the continent as they did what they did. And it's, very telling how old you are. And she didn't answer as to keep it something that you can't, let's say, use in legal matters. Like we never divulged the age, so you can't say that it was a crime. Very, very refined. I'll mute.
Yeah, and I will also say this person reminds me of what has been known as the Spanish. Well, we are Spanish, another group of white people who are doing really incorrect things to non-white people. And greetings to the chat, Mr. Braxton Williams, Miss Christine Williams, Mr. Bupo, and Hiru Ogon. Greetings. Yeah. So, and also this is this clip is the glory. It's the race soldiers who came long before the race soldiers who are living now, and they're being glorified with this piece of content. It may not appear so, but I think it is. All right, where are we going next? Okay, so we'll watch before we watch this, we have to look at we'll look at a picture really quickly. And then we will watch a little bit of it. We don't have to watch all of it. We'll watch a tiny bit of it, but at first we have to see to get a picture on the screen. Okay, so just have that picture in there, have it in your brain computer as we look at this.
No! The sun! Just kidding. I'm wearing native. Get ready to turn everything you know about sun care upside down. With native, simple, clean, mineral sunscreen for your face and your body. Before native, sunscreen was a pain in the neck. It can be so greasy, stinky, and filled with unpronounceable ingredients. I mean, oxy.
All right, that's it. 27 seconds, and notice when they said greasy and stinky, it was a close up of the Black people. But that's just a little bit of the racism in plain sight. Pairing this with the picture of the this, and then the name of this add the vampire coughlin. White people are always likening themselves to vampires. I suspect it's because they're very much aware that their behavior patterns is easily observable to be very parasitic, very vampiric. You know, they feed off other people and creatures. You know, they have conquered, captured people and creatures across the planet, and they use these people for various roles. And it's all mostly it is a energy drain, I would say, something like that. I'm not nearly as smart enough to even articulate what I want, but I think I'm making a little bit of sense. But why are white people always likening themselves to vampires? And with the whole sun thing, we just saw that in the other video a little bit. And this look, vampires are always, said to be seductive, have a gaze, they have these gazes that can entrance a person. But this is what I know to be that racist look. Like they're looking at us and they know that, yep, I got this one captured. He's mine now. He's already hers, but he's really hers now. And he's going to be so confused. And I should have mentioned this earlier, but I say, hey, if you are a non-white person and you think you have a white partner, say you should expect to find yourself in the graveyard, a psych ward, or a greater confinement. That's where you're headed really fast if you are in a tragic arrangement with a white person. So, comments before I continue?
I find it very misdirecting and pretty much just untrue. But how non-white people classified as Black have to be showcased for things to be accepted. And my saying that accepted to us, why are Black people putting on sunscreen? We know this isn't needed. Chemicals are not needed for Black people to enjoy or benefit from the sun. Sunscreen is for white people or vampires. See that? Look at this. So you have the eight. Who's on the right? Is that a non-white Asian or maybe Hawaiian or something? They're looking at it.
It doesn't even those things, Hawaiian, Samoan, those are just
I'm going by what what they say. I'm just looking at who is the person looking buffoonish. Who you see who's the person indulging in it? To me, that looks like your best known rapper with a pink Fendi purse on his shoulder. Who is engaging in the comic show? The Black male. Even look at the woman in the blue shirt. Like, what's going on over here? The red shirt's trying to give some kind of assistance or aid, but look at his face. Very telling. And then the black and white blanket on the bottom. Very telling.
Yeah, and because it's so easy to miss, I'm gonna play it again. Just listen and pay attention to who's on the screen when we hear the words, the incorrect language descriptions of Black people.
Before native, sunscreen was a pain in the neck. It can be so greasy, stinky, and filled with unpronounceable ingredients. I mean,
greasy and stinky. It literally, okay, here's the greasy one, here's the stinky one. Literally like pan, but if you not understand how the system works, how they're clowning us and mistreating us 24/7, easily can miss that.
Please rewind that. I'm sorry.
And also
I was just gonna say,
the name of the sunscreen is native. That's also symbolic.
please rewind that and look at the logo on the bottom. Okay, so see right there. Okay, perfect. Look at that side of the bottle as the person in the yellow shirt, and you see the color of the hands. Right now, go to when the victim in the red shirt and look at the other side of the bottle. Is this even the same bottle? And look what it looks like. It looks like a dildo, in my opinion. What is she holding? See, what was that on his shoulder? They put it in so quick. Look at that. Look at that. See? What side of the? What is she holding? Look at that. As you hear the word stinky, look at that. They're so slick.
Indeed. All right, let's keep it going. Get this out of here. All right, all right, we're gonna
The R.I.P.S are an indigenous people who live in scattered, isolated, mountainous part of Luzon, Philippines. They are thought to be among the earliest inhabitants of the Philippines, preceding the Austronesians' migration.
So the only purpose of showing you this is just to say, hey, Asian Black people, also known as yellow people, if according to the white supremacists. So Asian Black people, Asian niggers is what I am. Victims of racism is what I am attempting to show here, right? That being said, I am going to play the rest of the broadcast.
By exploiting Africans. For those of us who missed this video, let's get on was. In this video, we're exposed to how there is a booming industry for racism in China and how the people in this industry make thousands of dollars by exploiting Africans. BBC Africa did a documentary where this Chinese man was traced down to Malawi and he was seen making videos of children. He makes hundreds of videos a day and he sells them in the Chinese racism industry where he makes thousands of dollars. He was also caught on camera making terrible remarks about Black people, as well as admitting to have made one of the most controversial racist videos that exists in the Chinese racism industry.
Yes, you heard that correctly.
Literally seconds after admitting he made that video, he quickly retracted his statement, saying he wasn't the one who made the video anymore and that it was someone else who did. I think he slipped when he let out the information that he made the video and quickly realized that he could get in trouble for admitting to that, hence why he retracted his statement. If you want to check out the full documentary from BBC Africa, it's linked down below in the description. So now without further ado, let's move on with today's video. You know how I said in the beginning that there is an update to this case? Yep, there is. Man got arrested.
So at least he was, something happened for his anti-Blackness. So this is one of the clips that's going to be showing anti-Blackness, because I don't know if these so-called Chinese people are white or not white. I suspect them to be non-white because that's what the white people call them, and it looks like they're most of them I suspect to be quite miserable over there, over in that race camp known as China, Asia, whatever. So I suspect them to be non-white people. So I'm gonna call this anti-Blackness. I'm not gonna call it racism, but yeah, everyone on the planet has been trained to kind of despise Black people or easily disregard Black people, or if they see a Black person being mistreated or harmed, hey, that's kind of normal. It's kind of supposed to happen. You want to go for some hot coffee? So this is what I see here, just anti-blackness to be expected, but making a whole business of anti-blackness and profiting off of it and being able to sell videos of Black children saying I'm a monster, which is tragically white supremacists have made every single person on this planet a monster or a monstrosity. So profiting off such material is really, really incorrect. I don't think the so-called Chinese authorities are gonna like give him any sort of harsh punishment because hey, he was mistreating Black people. But maybe one can do some research to see what happens to this victim of racism here, this non-white person on the screen. And we just have more of it. Just yep. And we covered this sort of thing before a number of times actually. And yeah, this is the same thing. Alrighty. Before I continue, folks want to comment on that video?
I would just say very short, that was a little moment of Black self-respect because the BBC video you showed got that non-white person classified as Asian arrested. And they had to go into a lot of areas to get that information to make that arrest possible. It might not make a big deal at all, but I'm just saying, as much as abuse we go through, I also keep a notation of moments of Black self-respect and determination, and determination to end the system.
Thank you, Mr. Yawu. So yeah, this clip, we have a looks like a victim of racism, so-called Asian person hitting their cellmate while holding their offspring. So I'm like, yeah, it looks like they've been also severely brain trashed, retarded, and their arrangement seems to have been sabotaged like the arrangements of non-white people everywhere, where hey, we can't even have an offspring constructively together. I'm hitting you in the head with a shoe. But I may be totally in error. Maybe this is just white culture or something. Who knows? I think the racists know, but continuing. All right, we have more. Yeah, we're gonna check this out and then.
In Detroit City, and I'm like, sir, I'm trying to find some weed. And he's like, shit, so are we. Why don't you roll with me? We're gonna go around pulling over some minorities. That's what I'm talking about. Get up in the police ride, crack a 40 ounce inside. Nigga, we be getting high. Me and the cops roll around going 60. When we see a trick ass bitch, we gonna tell a hoe to drop them too. Go cops, let the dogs, let's go fuck with old folks. That's right, let's get high and pull over black guys, get buzzed.
So we don't have to watch all of it, but just racists having fun, producing nonsense like this, and then children, white children, non-white children across the planet are exposed to it. And I think, oh, yeah, it's normal. It's okay for Black males, Black people to be mistreated by race soldiers. Yeah, it's okay. The system is the status quo, the system, what we've been taught to do on this planet, everything's okay. And now it has a cool jingle to it as well. This is why if you have offspring, must be super, super vigilant on what they're being exposed to when we give them these objects with screens attached to them. Just a little bit of
For generations, the Price family has been famous for their shoes. Now, if Charlie can't save the business,
I had to fire 15 people today.
His entire town will be left in the cold.
What can I do? Do.
Change the product.
Ladies, gentlemen, and those who are yet to make up your mind.
Look behind you. It's your niche market, Charlie.
Do you think there is a market for boots for women?
Change the product, change the Black male, change what they should be. A Black man. We were going to prevent him from being a Black man, so we're going to change him into a Black female, or we're going to at least have him thinking he's a Black woman, Black female. But in actuality, he is highly confused and victimized. I played this one to revenge.
It's like living in a tech cartoon. Joe, I think we should just ignore them. Oh, no. Please, boom like a boom. What's all the
And he's actually, it speaks for itself. You don't need to hear the words, but Wesley Snipes is called a woman by suspected racists. But yeah, this is hugely important to the system of white supremacy, I suspect, emasculating Black males, put them in effeminate clothing as some sort of racist tactic or race ritual. Whatever it may be, it has been highly damaging to younger victims of racism, I suspect, and it is highly comforting to people classified as white to see Black males pretending to be Black females and Black females pretending to be Black males. I think it's highly comfortable for white people to be around this, to see this. So I get up maybe motivation for us to not do that, for us to attempt to be what the Creator intended us to be: universal man, universal woman. People guaranteeing that justice is on planet Earth, guaranteeing that no one's being mistreated, and those who need help receive constructive help. These behaviors that white people are white people have given us, putting on dresses and pretending to be all these things, carrying all these labels attached to those alphabets, I don't know if that's going to get us to being universal men and universal women. I don't think that's going to get us to being universal man or universal woman. And I don't think that's going to allow us to solve any problem. It's just going to make white people more comfortable. And yeah, that's it. Any of the other hosts want to chime in?
When I was younger, I would, when it would be a movie, when I would watch a movie like this, see a movie like this, I used to think the movie was horrible, was bad, usually was, bad. And that the actor or actress, that they were doing this just to pay the rent or to pay their chef or to keep up a certain lifestyle, just to make a couple of coins. I didn't see it, from the perspective of, oh, they're being mistreated. Oh, this is racism, white supremacy in plain sight. I was like, oh, they just took the part, it's a bad part, but yeah, they had bills to pay. The light bill was due for, for their mansion or what have you. Yeah, how confused I was, and still am, but nowhere as confused as I used to be. Yeah, that's all for now.
Yeah, I would
I
say both
wonder.
are true. They are victims of racism who probably needed to pay their pay to exist here. And yeah, they don't know that how they're being used and for these roles, I suspect. Some of them may, but I suspect many don't. Mr. Yahoo?
I suspect this scene right here in particular is how the suspected racist white supremacists viewed Mr. Snipes when he was in greater confinement. This movie came out right around the time, it was either right before or right after that incident with quote unquote so-called unpaid taxes. Um, just like you said, we're looking at it. You ain't got to progress it no further. It doesn't need any sound. A picture says 1,000 horrific words. For who shall our for who shall our entertainment be? I forget the exact quote by Ikwe Arma, but this is white supremacy at its finest. Look who's in the background. That's Patrick Manly Man Swayze in the background, the head of the whole troop. I paid money to be abused by this film in film class in college, and they glorified it. I remember like the whole speech they gave us before they played it, because it was maybe 4 non-white Black people in the class and the rest were white people. So I suspect that the speech was done for our entertainment, because we knew what happened when non-whites were around when it's all white people. So that's, yeah, this is what it is right here. It's at best. White supremacy would have Black men in dresses, and that was in 1960.
Wait, it sounds like you got a little bit further away from your mic. Were you finished, Mr. Yahoo? Alrighty. Thank you.
Real quick, even that image right there with Wesley Snipes, and look how he's dressed and the straight hair and purple makeup on his eyes, like he looks a fool. And white people did that on purpose. And then you notice how they had Patrick Swayze in the background,
very plainly,
looking like presidential, looking well put together, if for lack of a better term, or whatever. And they have Wesley Snipes just looking like whatever. Horrible.
Thank you for that observation, Ms. B. And now we're going into it'll speak first.
I'm asking you I saw you do it. Do you have a job? I just saw you do it. Do you have a job? Yeah, the fuck I do. No, you don't. People are watching this. That's my fucking job. Are you masturbating in front of a green screen? Hell yeah, I am. Do whatever the fuck I want in front of this green screen. Not my fucking house. Yeah, that's how that goes. Get the fuck out of the way. I'm gonna fucking knock his ass. No, you're not. Get the fuck out you're fucking not. We pay you money. That's how that goes. You're drunk as shit. Shut up. Go? Yeah, try something. Upstairs. Go. Don't defend him. Go. Armand's probably already called the cops, dude. Get the fuck out of here. No, it's Sierra, stay there. Me, you and him. It's me. No, it's fucking not. It's you and your fat ass. Go upstairs. Go upstairs. You wanna know how bad I am, motherfucker? Go upstairs. Know how bad I am? Wanna know how bad I am? Hey, motherfucker.
You're fucked up drunk and he's gonna kick the shit right out of you.
We need to eliminate the concept of a happy white family out of our minds. The only reason the race family sticks together is because they have a system of white supremacy that's benefiting all of them. There's no harmony amongst, well, I suspect there's no harmony amongst the people classified as white. Possibly some, but for most, I suspect it's very hard for them to have cannot want to produce or be involved in some sort of conflict. You know, if you would, I would hope hey, I got the system of white supremacy. You know, my life, because I'm not a non-white person. You know, they just exist. You know, 0526, he's only allowed to exist. You know, he's everything that he does supports the system mostly. You know, you know, me, I get to live. I get to actually, you know, my life is on easy mode. I have a life and it's on easy mode. 05, he has no life and his existence is quite tough. But still, even though my life is so easy, I still want conflict. You know, it's still conflict when I have taken over the planet. And that is very telling on what we're possibly dealing with. We must, non-white people, we must develop an effective number of people who will tell white people, hey, you know what? You guys have to help us eliminate all of this mistreatment because y'all shouldn't be harming each other either. That's incorrect. You know, we need to eliminate all of this harm on planet Earth. Or if you guys want to keep it up, just all right, kill all the black people, get us off this planet, off this existence for good, and you guys could do what you do best possibly. But folks like that comment, yeah, there we go, Mr. Yahoo. Is your mic working?
Yes, my headphone went dead on one side. Yeah, I would agree. I've heard that before on one of the Kyle's broadcasts. Mr. Gusty Renegade stated that white people should be the most courteous, kindest people ever because you own the world. There should never be an argument with one of your subjects. So that right there in itself shows that it is a consistent point of mistreatment, even in a position of dominance. And that's what makes it perverse. In my opinion, that's what makes that has to be dealt with. That cannot exist. Because that just means that it just continues. It isn't just an earthly problem. Because then it's once we learn how to get off Earth, we can just spread it everywhere. And that's why Frances Cress Welsing said it is our cosmic. The first word is cosmic, not earthly. She said cosmic duty. And that's what I subscribe to. I'm mute up.
Thank you. Cosmic duty to solve this problem because we should not, no one, you know, 100 years from now, no one should be on Mars. We should not have any black males or black females on Mars still dealing with child support. That's what would happen if the system is allowed to continue. We're gonna be on Mars still dealing with baby mama drama because the system has not been eliminated. Where are we going? Okay.
Mr. Strand, go ahead and start. So we're going to do this, officer's going to switch out the cuffs, and then we will go ahead and take your holster and stuff off.
How much is 5-6?
How you doing? Hey. Sir, can I have you do me a favor? Set your paperwork on the tailgate right there. Go ahead and place your hands behind your back for me. Go ahead and relax your legs. Okay. I want to get you into this vehicle quickly. Okay. But I don't want you to take anything you don't need to have. Alright. Need to double off these for you. Too tight on you?
No, that's okay.
I don't know if they're gonna dive into it, but this race soldier is being brought in on Yeah, they're here. This child pornography, and this is a detective. He's supposed to be, you know, out there solving crimes, but nope, he's participating in child pornography. He's this is very common. I had another one, a different, I think it was a police chief getting brought in on because he had child pornography. And this is common. This is going to keep happening because in this system, white people, the usual suspects, they do not care about children unless they're benefiting from them, usually in a very incorrect manner, like getting pleasure for them or using them some sort of labor, slavery type thing. It's just they have taught us, they always present in Area 3 entertainment that they like children and they care about them. It's not true. That's another thing we have to eliminate from our minds, that white people care about children. They do not. Just look around at what's happening on this planet. Just look at any of these so-called third world documentaries and see what's those children are existing in, and evident white people do not care about children at all, especially non-white children. So this is very common. People in positions of power. I'm still classified as white. What's in our mind. What's in our DNA. Sometimes, what am I supposed to do? Possibly is what they think to each other. I may be in error, but
I'll just say for the video, one word: protocol.
Notice how courteous and businesslike they were with someone accused of having child pornography on his phone.
let it be a victim of racism, carjacker, all sorts of kicks and knees to that person's body. Continuing, but go ahead, Miss Action.
Oh, no, I'm finished. I didn't mean to unmute.
White woman accused of pretending to be a doctor in Africa is sued after 100 babies die. Renee Bach is a U.S. missionary with no medical training who left Virginia in 2007 and went to Uganda. By 2012, she found a private NGO and healthcare facility called Serving His Children. She allegedly led people to believe she was a doctor, and 100 babies reportedly died around her fraudulent care. White power, awesome power. Only white people can travel any place on the planet and commit mass murder. That's white power. This is a miniature Jim Jones here, Renee Bach. This is an example of mass murder. I think this woman was doing what she thinks is her purpose, her duty. Genetic annihilation, all these dark creatures around here. She's from Virginia, that so-called Virginia. That's just, that area in itself possibly has a lot of people who may be racist. She travels to race camp known as Uganda and kills 100 Black people, Black babies, actually. This is mass murder. This is not fraudulent care. This is not, her, she was attempting to help the people. She was attempting to serve his children. That she went over there, I suspect, with an intent to eliminate large numbers of non-white people, or at least mistreat them, and highly, highly successful. effective and dangerous. This is why we must be suspicious of everybody classified as white. And sometimes I pitifully think of just a bunch of code books being dropped down, and just all the race camps, just a bunch of code books just falling down in so-called Africa, so-called Asia, just everywhere, just a code just being dropped down from cargo planes. And I think the planet is just so terrorized that those people may be getting the code book, but they still may be suffering famine and getting bombs dropped on them at the same time. So very tragic situation that we're in, but non-white people globally in the known universe must suspect every white person, because anyone could be a Renee Bach if they're classified as white. If folks want to share a word before I continue. Well, what up, Mr. Okay, never mind. Wait, is Yahoo trying to talk right now? Wait 1 second, y'all. It's because it says you're muted and I'm hearing you distorted. Okay, technical difficulties to be all right, we'll go here because it's still law enforcement area 6 law, I believe.
The keys, so he's stepping out very gingerly there, hands up, into following.
Hold on, it's lagging out. Oh, my area law is area 5. People activity. 6 is politics.
To this area, you see the CHP unit getting bigger. This may be the pit. This is it. Stepping out. Let's see if this is control.
I can't hear this for some reason. Okay, we're not gonna watch it. The person who gets out the car, I thought it was a white person. I will put the link to this video in the chat so people can watch it and see, hey, is this a white person or not? But anyways, he gets out the car, he starts dancing.
So he's stepping out.
And radio is really buggy right now, but he gets up the car, he starts dancing, and the narrator, the news white lady, says he's dancing gingerly or something. She describes him as gingerly, and I'm like, okay, he must be white if he's gingerly, and he's able to, he dances for a while, before the white people take him in. I mean, before the law enforcement take him in. So that's that. Not really that.
Just wanted to come on here and show y'all how to properly go to bed as a submissive woman. Of course, first, I gotta call daddy and get permission to go to bed. Everything you do gets ran by your man. That's the way to properly treat your king.
I told you about calling me while the game on.
Yes, sir. I apologize. I was just trying to get permission to go to bed, sir.
I thought I told you to be in the bed myself.
Yes, sir, but with all due respect, on the weekends you said I could stay up till 9.
Yeah, it is a Friday. Alright, good there. You can go on and get in bed. Just make sure you got the phone in the bed by you. Shit, put it by your head, turn the body look. And if you got to use the bathroom, shit, wait until I call you in the morning. I'll probably call around about 9:30. So you don't need to be drinking no water or nothing. And use the bathroom. I don't need you getting out of bed. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. I understand, Daddy.
Alright, well, you can go on and get in bed. I'm going to call you tomorrow morning. I should be getting that same spot tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life.
Alright, it's good. Call you tomorrow.
Good night. R. Well, y'all heard, Daddy. It's time for bed. Good night.
This is such a sick psychology we are having to withstand on this planet. This woman, this white woman, this racist, has chosen to deceive and sexually sewer a black male in a really, really bizarre manner. She's able to fulfill some sort of twisted thing. I don't know. I can't even compute it, but it seems like she's definitely not confused about the system, I would say. But I don't even know. Just we have to just don't go to bed with white people. It's because even talking about such a terrorist act, you know, what's happened, whenever we see a white person holding the hand of a non-white person, that's a terrorist, it's a terrorist act. You know, that should not be happening on this planet where they have declared war against non-white people, especially black people. Yeah. I think just I can't even imagine. I can't imagine how confused the black male is, because all of us are confused about the system if you're classified as black. But the way she looks, the way she's imitating how they've trained non-white females to look, with the silly eyelashes and the just the hair being just silly, and the tattoos of the black people just don't have color. Among a color in me some way. She got color in her two ways, you know, three, by a lot of ways, I'm sure, but the ways I observed, hey, she has a black phallus in her mind dominating her, while she at the same time is dominating him because she knows she's a white woman, a powerful white woman. And then she has to color the tattoos. You know, she has the blanket with probably her victim on it. Yeah, she's just really living it up. You know, while O5 was just here reporting. You know, some would say complaining probably, but I'll pause.
My exes come out of me and I never.
Hey, go ahead, Mr. Yabu.
No, please continue. I can't say anything better than what's on the screen right now.
Good, my pussy chase and he's eating my exes come out of me and I never told him. Once my boyfriend was asleep, so I wanted to go fuck my ex real quick, so I drove down to the gas station, let him cream pie me, and then I came home to sneak into bed. My boyfriend woke up and then wanted to fuck me, and he started eating me out and told me how good my pussy tastes, and he's eating my exes come out of me, and I never told him. Once good my pussy.
All right, so yeah, motivation, you know, stay out of bed with white people. Just, you know, pieces of a puzzle, we need to take. Pieces of a puzzle, we need to take, you know, they're not having sex with us. Those are acts of terrorism, being sexually sewered, being raped. Yeah. Yep, starting to sound like a broken record, but hey. Yeah, and this clown Joker, white supremacist, he's very a famous individual. This is like before the war. I mean, my bad. Bring the war home moment right here, because these are some serious white supremacists right here. Definitely have arms. Definitely are in a number, I suspect, groups of other white supremacists. This guy has a Kevlar body armor on, but yeah, they're aware of white code. They're very familiar with one another and sync about how they are practicing racism, white supremacy. Imagine if every time a non-white person, we understood that white people were waging a war against us. Well, dang. Imagine that. Imagine if we understood that we are being sabotaged in all areas of our people activity. Everywhere we go, some way, shape, or form, it has been set up to sabotage us. Doesn't matter if we were in sync in that manner, like these guys are. And they don't know each other, but they're able to recognize.
That image reminds me a lot of the famous iconic Uncle Sam, like the pointing finger at the screen. I see that very similar symbolism in what they classify as Nazi.
Yep, the Nazi salute. Oh, yep. Interesting.
I have explained time and time again why not to wash your chicken. And I still keep getting blown up in my DMs. So guess what? It's time to recruit a little help. Here's my girl, Kelsey, to educate you all a little bit. Don't just take my word for it.
Thanks, Matt. You were absolutely right. Please, for the love of God, do not wash your chicken.
Okay, so this is an example of racist man, racist woman, just working together to spread deception, practice racism. Because is it logical to not sanitize food, what some people call food? Nope. Yeah, we don't have to talk about racism. Just talk about, should I clean my food before I prepare it? I would say duh. But for some reason, these people are attempting to tell us, or whoever will listen, hey, don't wash your chicken for some reason. Could be that the Urugu is just all right, I'm gonna pause there.
As a chef of over a decade, I have never seen any piece of poultry that has ever come into the back of any restaurant that wasn't rinsed, especially breast meat. It is a very foul odor. I see this as a way to spread, salmonella at the same time making fun of Black people, because you have to show Black hands for the thumbnail for one. And then it insinuates that Black people, or people who aren't the expert in the chef's coat — I'm surprised there wasn't books behind her, like I usually say, because that's a very keen tool that they use with these experts that come on screen. So you have the person that's admitting, you have the white man admitting something, then you have the expert, the white woman, right behind it to tell you, don't rinse your chicken. This isn't practice in where most people eat on the public circuit in restaurants. Every chicken is washed when you go out and pay money to eat. So how is she an expert?
Thank you. And this is another example of why social media is just dangerous, because it's so easy to just get bombarded with deception and incorrect information, because that's what the system is all about: confusing non-white people. Have them believe the earth is flat. Have them believe in anything besides they're in a system of white supremacy, and they should be attempting to solve that problem. We have another white person just wanting to feel like anything other than white. Hey, it's white skin. It's no color on my skin. It makes me feel bizarre. Makes me feel a lot of things. some people have written about it and put it in text known as the ISIS papers, Urugu. Even white people have written about it, what the skin does to my psyche. So I want to put a bunch of dots on me. I'm gonna pretend to be a tiger, a cheetah, because way better than what I have to deal with when I'm reminded what I'm actually am, this person classified as white. And maybe I'm just, just rambling and just, fine, you're just too confused right now. This guy had just, just his identity. He's just an artist. He's an artist. This guy's just an artist or something. He's not wanting to escape being white. He doesn't want to pretend to be a cheetah and put this color in him. He's not compensating for his white skin at all. Come on. Oh, here it is. I missed what I mentioned earlier about the police chief. I had to call him sir. Internal investigation uncovers on-duty sex acts by fired chief. All right, so, so I was in error. He's not, to my knowledge at least, he's not a carrier of child pornography. So I have to correct that. He's just a different kind of sexual deviant, sexual abuser. So his article, folks can no need to dive into it. It's just mistreatment. People in power mistreating people who they're supposed to be working with. We should be solving this problem. We don't need law enforcement if they're not going to be solving a race problem.
The head of the Africa for an end to sanctions because people in Africa are dying, and an MEP comes in here and bemoans it. I have to say the arrogance is striking. Russia's invasion was a godsend to the worst elements in European politics. NATO dodged being obsolete, the arms manufacturers are getting blank checks, and the Eastern European far right got to bully the rest of Europe into prolonging an unwinnable war against a nuclear-armed neighbour. But the 100 days of hysteria are dying down. Fractures are emerging, slowly, too slowly. Western Europe is coming to its senses. Scholz and Draghi want to build peace. Macron is against humiliating Russia. He wants exit ramps. But the extremists in Eastern Europe, backed up by the United States, are happy to see Europe wrecked in order to undermine Russia. We don't need more of this lunacy. We need a change of tack, not to deepen it. We need to end this death drive. We need diplomacy, de-escalation and multilateralism.
Holy muck. A lot of words. What I can decipher from this jargon is that a lot of non-white people in the area of the world known as Africa are suffering because of this conflict that has been started by the so-called Russians and the so-called Ukrainians, those folks. So that's what I got out of that. More people classified as Black are suffering because white people want to go to battle with one another while they still are operating the only war that is happening on planet Earth. It's a race war. The system of white supremacy is a war. All this is from the United Independent Compensatory Code System concept. Please, everyone, go to producejustice.com for a understanding of what I'm talking about when I say race war and when I say racism, white supremacy is war. All this is from Neely Fuller's Junior Code book. And if you're unable to secure a copy, we have a playlist of that book. We read it cover to cover, and we did a study on it where we read from quite a bit of it. So please begin to understand the system of white supremacy, understand that you are in a race war. White people are maintaining, have started thousands of years ago, a race war against people classified as not white. So this is what she's talking about, but the language is not gonna, she's not gonna use that because they're not supposed to talk about the race war. They're supposed to be very serious about conducting it, but they're not supposed to talk about it. So they have to use all these code words, this double speak but she's calling for, or someone is calling for the white people to stop battling with each other because non-white people are being harmed, but they're not going to care about the non-white people being harmed because that's what their business is all about. The business of white supremacy, the race war of white supremacy.
I'm really glad you brought that video up because it can be seen in something I posted earlier in the WhatsApp, but about how Ukraine, so Africa has a bunch of products and they export their products and people stay broke, and then they kill they marginalize the subsistent workers, and then you have these products that come in from foreign countries. They're predicting like I don't know how many million people famine in Africa just because of this war, because they import their grain from the Ukraine. I see the pattern of warfare waged by the Urugu as media proxies for eliminating millions of non-white people at a time and using as the word of we're fighting each other as the covert doublespeak.
Wow. Very logical. Thank you, Mr. Yabu. Yeah, so this is just the barbaric nature of the Yurugu, people who may be racist. And notice I just maybe Jack Harlow, maybe an error. I really don't care. But notice how he has the what is this thing? He's using this brown phallus like object. He's just using this black phallic object to feed to his fans, his fanatics. That's what a fan is. If you're a fan of anything, it means you're a fanatic. I didn't even understand like etymology, and I understood that many years ago. If you're a fan of something, you're a fanatic. Insane. Anywho, we see the same thing we see all the time: compensation. Hey, I don't have a black phallus. What you white women say you all want. Someone tall, dark, and handsome. I don't have that. But here's I forgot what they were called, but here's a stick of jerky that looks like a black dick. Here you go. You like that? And yeah, they definitely seem to be enjoying it. And then you see like just the tackiness, the trashiness of it, of just all right, your partner or whatever just did that. I'm cool with that. It's just gutter. One of the quotes from the back of it, Neely Fuller's book, is that we're like in a sewer system. White people have created a sewer system and we're just swimming in it. And this is what it looks like. Just filthy interaction, just gutter interaction, trashy interaction. Concert shouldn't even be happening. Unless the concert is we are concerting to find out how we're going to solve this race problem tomorrow. All right, by tomorrow, we're going to have justice on planet Earth. Other than that, we don't need to be at concerts, but white people are in power, so they have the luxury to celebrate and be gutter, trashy, tacky, and terroristic. Before I carry on, if folks like to say a word, if not, no worries.
Yeah, I saw it.
Whoa, whoa. Oh my god. Whoa. What the fuck? Yeah, and that's just, counter violence, he was probably highly suspicious of that white person. So he was probably prepared, Example, hey, why should you be suspicious of white people? If you're suspicious of them, you can maybe be prepared for when they try to harm you. If you're unable to leave, he's on a plantation, really can't leave unless, the boss man, the boss lady say you can. So counter violence, Black self-respect, possibly non-white self-respect, depending on who the person is, quite blurry. But yes, I will pause briefly to see if folks want to comment.
With a veiled threat. Like a lot of neighborhoods in Utah, this one in South Jordan is pretty traditional. Nice homes, quiet streets, a lot of kids, and every so often...
I do. Can I ask why?
A salesperson will come knocking at the door.
And you gave me one. You ain't let the dog out on me, sir.
They'll joke around. They're friendly, right? And why wouldn't they be? They're trying to sell you something.
What about reading? You believe reading is fundamental? I do. Bam!
But about 30 seconds into the sales pitch, this young man trying to sell magazines to the homeowner.
So magazines, I would... not be interested in, to be honest with you, because everything's online.
All right, now I'm going to stop it right there because there's actually...
Yeah, I'm actually also going to stop it right here because I thought this video was going to be something else. And we united to see a victim of racism reacting incorrectly to the system of white supremacy. So I'm going to keep it pushing. Okay, let's play again. Let's find let's find a non-white person, let's find a black person actually, because all right, we're looking for a black person. Interesting. So yeah, this would be constructive if the system of white supremacy was not still on planet Earth. So the chat, greetings, Miss Morgan Jones. You have been sharing a lot of constructive information. Look at the Congo genocide. Yeah, that is often mentioned by counter-racist scholars. What's happening, what is happening, and what has happened in the area of the world known as the Congo. All right, what is? All right, speaking of the Congo, speaking of murder and just worship of murder, death. This is a website I just stumbled upon, and I don't even know. I don't remember how I found it, but it's just a bunch of suspected racists glorifying, worshiping white killers, white terrorists. This is I think here it goes, Nicholas Cruz. This is the kind of shit she makes and likes about, just people worshiping. He's our baby boy. But yes, those arms, just him as a whole. This person, this white terrorist, killed a lot of children, killed a lot of people. But this is what happens: white people commit a terrorist attack, go on, kill a bunch of people. The internet, racist man and racist woman, they begin to worship them. The Columbine boys, or worship. I had a clip where when the white lady, one of the mothers of the killers is doing TED Talks now. So you think if anyone non-white had shot up a school, then killed themselves, you think that parent would be doing TED Talks some years later? Don't think so. Don't mucking think so. But yeah, this is a website. I'll share it with you all so you can explore it. I'll put it in the chat. You guys can explore it if you would like. Dylan Roof was here. If you do some scrolling, you can find Dylan Roof. But I don't want the YouTube white people to shut the channel down again. So carry on. Unless Mr. Yahoo has a word or two to share about that death worship. If not, no worries. You can go ahead.
I just heard my name. I had my phone away from my head.
Oh, okay. No worries.
About $10 million in real estate owned, but wait 1 minute.
Got 242 units, $32 million in real estate.
Boom!
2,500 units, 175 million.
Boom!
220 houses, 25 million.
Boom!
About 1,500 units, 45 million.
Boom!
4,288 units, $335 million.
Boom!
Conquering, dominating, white power. This is what it means to be white, to exist. No, my bad. To live, to thrive happily as a white person. These are things where you are allowed to amass and brag about. Again, white supremacy. And why do they have this system? To mistreat non-white people, to mistreat people on the basis of their color, to have glory and to have material comfort. Glory is a form of glory is bragging. They're bragging about all this. The things they've created, the concept of money, created by them. Well, the way they, not my bad. The way they use money is that is arranged by them. It's used in a really incorrect manner, a manner mostly to mistreat and to brag and show off. That's what they're doing. definitely white power. Suspicion. I'm highly suspicious of these people. I'm pretty sure on their free time they're up to a lot of incorrect things. I suspect.
In the context of this video, my question to the person who posted it and or the people of the individuals in the video, are they talking about housing? Are they talking about real estate? Because I've seen where the racist whites, suspected and admitted racist white supremacists use code words. I know that house is a code word. I know that unit especially is a homoerotic code word. So my question is, I would ask first, what do you mean by real estate? And then what do you mean by units owned? Because I see in the clownish, they call it bravado, this video is in. I'm not sure what you're talking about due to current and past evidence that we've seen from this type of anti-behavior.
Thank you, Mr. Yahoo. Earlier we discussed we discussed it briefly, the bestiality, the white people making out with the dogs and whatnot, making out with the possums. And we have here Texas man indicted for bestiality after allegedly filming himself sexually assaulting and killing dog in home. Texas teenager was indicted for allegedly sexually assaulting and killing a dog at his home late last year. A Bell County grand jury returned a true bill indicting Gregory Mosley Lopez III, who's 18 years old, on one count of bestiality in the presence of a child under the age of 18. What does it mean to be white? And with how the system has allowed just the internet culture to just promote anything. We got furry culture, we got students in school admitting, the Zootopia creatures, I'm attracted to them. So the propaganda is very strong in the entertainment area 3. So I'm not surprised at all. And I expect more young white children and victims of racism to be trained and led to have attractions to characters who look like the Zootopia creatures, those anthropomorphic BoJack Horseman like characters, and actual animals. They just had a movie that came out last year called A Wolf, where a bunch of people think they're animals, going to therapy because they think they're a wolf, a parakeet, whatever the hell. So racism and race women are leading our minds into some very, very depraved places. And this is an indication of that. Hey, this is a white person doing it, but we copy everything they do. This was just a Neely Fuller Jr. moment. Slavery gets shit done. The system of white supremacy does get things done, but it gets it done in a really evil way, where people who are not white, especially classified as black, don't benefit and suffer like a huge. So it's not correct. Slavery is super whack, and the system of white supremacy is slavery. If you're not white, you're a slave too. I hate to inform you. No, I don't hate to inform you because I don't. But if you are not white, you can correctly be called a slave, a nigga, and a nigger, because all those things just mean non-white, victim of racism. You have been captured. You were born into a really incorrect system that you should be motivated to change, so you don't have to die a slave. You can die a universal man because we have solved the problem. universal woman because we have solved the problem. That is very possible. We just need an effective number of non-white people, white people who are, all right, we'll do it. We'll do it.
Stand up for my.
I don't know. This is just white women practicing deceit. Just don't need to talk about that one. Don't care to.
In the darkness.
Hold
It
on,
was
hold
April
on, hold on,
20th.
Hold on.
He called out one word in the darkness. Bye. It was April 20th, 1999. Later that morning at Columbine High School, my son Dylan and his friend Eric killed 12 students and a teacher and wounded more than 20 others before taking their own lives. 13 innocent people were killed.
I wonder if she's gonna mention how they killed the black male because he was black, and that was documented. I wonder if she mentions that. But yeah, you can find this on the YouTube. Now again, a question I asked earlier: would we find the attempted appearance of any mass shooter who killed anyone during TED Talks? Don't think so. Glorifying. This is another way they're glorifying mass murderers, white terrorists, Columbine shooters, whatever we're gonna call them. What they actually are white terrorists, and they're being glorified. And that's what the system must do. It must glorify and celebrate its heroes, the white supremacists. I cannot hear. All right, let's see some.
She said, pass the weed, bitch. I don't like to pass the gas. Blowing bubble, blowing Zaza. She got big old titties. I said, goo goo, goo gaga. In a zoo, monkey ass niggas. Ooh, 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 ah.
All right, that's all we have to see in here. In a zoo, a monkey. Yeah, come on. The black, just black people have no friends, especially if they are classified as white. We are the joke. If we are living in any way, shape, or form, it's because we are the living joke. But speaks for itself. Don't stop dancing. Stop doing anything with white people if it's not constructive, and this is not constructive. We must work under white people. I understand that. But we don't have to go to parties with them. We don't have to be friends with them. We don't have to do anything with them, but beg them to help us produce justice and beg us for the things they allow us to have, like things we need, like food and money, because they say we need money to exist here on this planet. And back to the first earlier with the TED Talk one, not earlier, but a second or two ago. The parents of one of the Columbine shooters. Yep, she started off with the darkness. A bunch of white people killing people was always darkness. From the darkness.
0526, I'm very glad you said that. Just if I may, just real quick, the darkness. Anytime I was talking to this with a suspected racist at the plantation the other day, and I was in the alleyway, and it was very hot outside, and I'm looking at people. I'm looking at individuals as they're boiling up red, and I can tell like where the sun's hitting them. I'm smiling inside, and so I was behind it, and it's the shade. I'm like, isn't that funny? When it's hot outside and you need to cool off, you go into the shade. But when words are used, shade is bad. Why is that? And I asked him, and he sat there explaining it for like 5 minutes, and it's just typical. But just little things like that, like, just want to add.
Indeed, darkness is always bad, scary, evil, beastly. Something coming to get you, especially if you're white. Yeah. Yeah, when I got understanding of a little bit of understanding of white supremacy, I was like, oh wow. So even being afraid of the dark is like anti-blackness. Oh, I got it. I get really annoyed when younger victims tell me they're afraid of the dark. I'm like, yeah, why? I understand it's supposed to be, but programming is very powerful.
Patriots pulling up. All right, so we got Patriots here, about to pull up on the libtards, doing an anti-Second Amendment rally. Look at all those libtards there.
So, yeah, we don't need to watch all of it, just white people in disagreement about how white supremacy should be practiced, how racism should be practiced, and saying, all right, we're not gonna take away our rifles, our great equalizers. That's not gonna happen. That'll happen. We have some conflict between some more refined white supremacists known as the LGBTQ. They're very refined, and like the likes of the Proud Boys or the white supremacists who were recently caught. Well, I'll pause. We're gonna I'm sure I have it in the queue.
Why is it your business? Why is it here? I live on this street. Mind your business.
Hold on.
That's not my problem your phone won't turn on. My phone is on. I have you. Please stop harassing me.
I'm not harassing.
I am sitting on my street where I live. I own property here.
Just taking your sign right there.
This is my company. You know what? Call the number. You'll call me.
All right.
That's how intelligent you are. Call it right now. Let's see what phone rings.
Well, I can leave reviews and stuff, I guess.
Oh, have a great day with that. Like, it's not a company.
So I don't know if you need to watch the entire exchange. It's just this white man mistreating a black female off the basis of a color. He saw ass. He noticed the color of her skin was brown, but in his mind, it's a black nigger over there. I gotta go and I gotta investigate. So that's what we're seeing here. She is reacting in a manner that she knows best. I suspect if she had an understanding of the code of counter racist logic, she could have this interaction would have went what I say I would have went more logically.
That's constructive that you said that. She had a better understanding of the logic and the code. I found the emotion came from, and it's very understandable, as victims. Like, you're on my street doing this. Well, understanding of the code, we don't own anything. They come down the street and, that's the man. So just that little understanding right there could have changed that situation. And then it might not have went viral and fueled more racism just off of practicing the code. Please visit producejustice.com.
Indeed.
So who brought the tranny? Who brought the pedophile? Hold on. No, thank you. Who brought the pedophile?
It's not
We want to know.
You're required.
We want to know. Oh, we're medically exempt. Thank you, though. Who brought the pedophile? I just want to know.
Story time is actually for children.
It's for, well, then why is the pedophile here?
So if you guys could please.
Why did you, no. We want to know why there's a pedophile here.
We saw videos of what that thing does.
Yeah. Why did you, Hey,
It's got
you
videos
see a lot of
about what it
pedophiles
wants
in
to
here.
do to little children.
Yeah. Why did
It
you allow
has videos
pedophiles?
on YouTube of what it wants to do to little children.
Why did you bring the pedophile?
I don't understand. I don't understand.
Yeah, then why would you bring your children to a pedophile?
We're not swearing.
So again, we don't need to watch all of it, but this is again white people in disagreement about how white supremacy should be practiced. Hey, I don't think you should promote anti-sex to people. Hey, I think we should. That's just white people in disagreement about how white supremacy should be practiced. You know? Notice the non-white black female, I mean, my bad, the non-white female there, Asian female, so-called child. Why is she there? I would say the people who are her so-called parents may be highly, highly confused to bring such a person to such a place. Comments?
Yes, sir. If the video was advanced, not to do it, but let's say a minute later, I saw in particular Ralph Ellison, Invisible Man. They used the non-white black quote unquote security, or like the mammy, the strong figure, to take out the clown faced painted sexual deviant. If that was yeah, I noticed that in the video. But yeah, highly expected. The non-white children I saw that were spread around might be victims of so-called adoption. I've seen a lot of waves of adoptions of non-white so-called Asian people. So yeah, I would agree.
You saying that makes me think of that Spawn character, you know, the clown, the evil devil clown. Oh, here it is, the Patriot Front. This is what I was rambling on about earlier, about these white supremacists who got arrested trying to pull up, you know, in disagreement about. Hey, I don't think, you know, the pride people should be promoting anti-sex. You know, I don't think they should be practicing racism in that matter. All right, that's what's happening. I guess this is just the white people speak out on that. But that's all that was about. That's all this is. That's all this is. That's all we're saying here. You know, just white people in disagreement about how this system is being ran, and they're making an effort to, hey, to do something about it. It seems very organized, very serious. You know, I just wish non-white people could copy that, could mimic that.
If I may, back to the clown, I would definitely say that visage, if I can use that word. I hope it's not a metaphor, but reflects John Wayne Gacy and his use of Pogo the Clown and his so-called artwork. And they love to heroize. I'll add that one in my own book, heroize these killers and sadomasochists, from Billy the Kid to Alexander the Great. Like, is a hero a conqueror? That's my question to anybody talking about, from Alexander to George Washington. Is a hero a conqueror? Is, you know what I mean? Like, is the definition of hero, is that parallel to a conqueror? I would say not, in my paradigm. I'm mutant.
Excellent observations.
And also, just 1 second, it's also the archetype of it. I saw that and correlated it with a video that I saw, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is it. So Stephen King used it to boost that archetype of John Wayne Gacy. They still celebrate their monsters.
Exactly. Like glorification. Very, very coded. This is why we must understand R.I.P.S Racism in Plain Sight, Race Code War. Please check out our study on that book, Race Code War. I suspect it has allowed me to see more of what's always been there in regards to the system and what is taking place.
We said family, welcome back to the carpool.
Carpool Candid Talks.
All right, 15 seconds in, black males already portrayed to be stupid, to be expected. But I mean, I'm not even gonna we're not even gonna listen to any of it. We're just gonna go. The title my girlfriend was put on the white supremacist website. I'm sure she was put there as in some sort of I wish they put the website here, but of course they didn't. But I suspect she was put there on some sort of race traitor, not as she's a white supremacist. If she was put on hey, this is a white supremacist, then hey, that's accurate. She should be on that list because she's raping, sexually suing a black male, and the damage may already be observable if we can from the first 16 seconds in, but I may be in error. Anywho, just please, we must have the will to. I know they have trained us to think these creatures known as white people are attractive, but if we do a little bit of thinking, hey, why would I be attracted to a person who's a boil people who look like me alive? Come on, that's ridiculous. Come on, you help me produce justice and get away from me, Buster. No name calling, but continuing. Just that code, just supposed to be ginger, but easily observable. To me, nigger is in there as well, but a victim of racism reported that they didn't even see the nigger. So it just goes to show this could be an exercise. Do you see the nigger here, or do you see ginger? And of course, white people have memeified Umar Johnson. He's been memeified. Incorrect, but to be expected. To be expected.
I can say that I did not see that that anagram, but you said something earlier in the broadcast. I mean, you were reading from something and it used the word gingerly, and I thought about how I didn't see nigger and ginger. So when I hear, as it goes back to doublespeak, when I hear white people say the word gingerly, I immediately associate that with nigger now.
Oh.
I was more confused. Now I think about it. Gingerly, kid gloves. Yeah, there it is, right there in plain sight. Thank you, sir.
Interesting. I may have been in error earlier because I thought gingerly was code for white, but
Oh, it's code for just what you showed.
Interesting. Yeah, you may be right. You may be right because that person dancing, he was dancing very gingerly, niggerly, because that's what they taught us to do best, dance.
When you said it, I'm sorry. When you said gingerly, immediately my mental computer went to that image you just showed. That's why you brought it up. Thank you.
I got it from an antique dealer. This is one of my favorite pieces I've ever made. It's a real human skull. I got it from an antique dealer who had cleared out a old Mason's temple. They were using it as a candle holder. I had to fix her up a little, and then I sculpted all these little buildings off.
I thought it was a crime to disturb a corpse, but I'm just exaggerating. I should let the white lady do her art project and this dead person's skull. This is okay. He's definitely he left it in his will. I want my skull to be used as an art project on Pinterest. That's what I want for my skull. I think this is abuse of a corpse, and I think this is the macabre. We're observing some macabre practices of racism and white supremacy. I'm pretty sure this school, probably a non-white person. The odds are, whenever we are like looking at any sort of schools and these museums and these classrooms on display, the odds are that it's most likely a non-white person than a white person. So, geesh.
Even the entire concept, as a former art student, I realized a little bit earlier, but I was definitely more confused that the so-called best teachers had real bones. Like you go to, at one point as a aspiring sculptor, I'm sitting next to bone doctors and we're sculpting in clay, but we're handling real bones. In my mind, I'm thinking this is like the highest level of being like what it means to be an artist. Because people like these grave, to me, this reminds me of Mummies, Cannibals, and Vampires, the book. Macabre, yes, I would go as far to say necromancy. And it's termed as art, but in the form of the Yoruba mind, so it's expected.
Nigga, I'm a full-grown nigga now. I'll be scared too. You wanna come up to me?
You're
like
scaring
I'm a
my
full-grown
friends.
Man. So I'm saying that here in your face. I'm scared. I'd be scared too, bitch. I'd be scared too. Get off your fucking phone. Who the fuck is recording?
Don't touch me again.
Don't touch my phone. Who you recording? Touch my phone and see what the fuck happens. Who you recording? Why you recording me? I don't know you. The fucking phone. I don't know you. You do not have permission to record me. Come on.
Well, I'm doing it.
Oh, you're doing it. You're doing it. I'm scared. See when the fuck I'll pull up with some niggas and see what the fuck y'all do then. Some what? Some niggas, bitch.
Catch me out. Are you gonna catch me outside?
You're gonna see what the N-word means in a couple of 5 minutes, bitch.
Are you gonna?
I didn't say nothing to y'all. I didn't say nothing to y'all.
Why do you have a dollar bill in your bra?
Y'all can get to stepping.
Why is there a dollar bill in your top?
A dollar bill?
Yeah.
You need it? You that broke bitch that you had to walk to the store to get a dollar bill off me? You that broke? You need a dollar bill? I'm racist. I'm racist. Delina, I'm racist. I'm racist.
No one says that.
I don't know nothing about black bitch. Shut the fuck up. Take your little shrimply ass shrimp white dick on the fuck somewhere.
Why do you keep talking?
Take your little shrimp white dick on somewhere. You don't know nothing about black dick. Come on.
Why?
I'm racist. Bitch, you on her name.
Why are you like this?
Back up and go to hell, bitch.
Like,
fuck you mean?
like this.
You don't know nothing about black dick. Maybe you should go try some. Maybe you should go try some.
No one said anything about racism. You fucking whore.
Yeah, tacky, trashy, terroristic, you know. This is where we have learned a lot of our behaviors from. You know, when we see victims of racism and, you know, behaving wildly, they learned it from the likes of racist man and racist woman, racist child. They taught us how to master incorrect behavior. If they taught us anything, it's how to behave incorrectly. And this is it's a demonstration of that, you know, a demonstration of that. The white lady, you know, she's just having fun. You know, she's just having fun with her racism. Saying nigga, she's just having fun. You know, the white men, they were just, you know, still in the white code, still remaining calm, asking questions, you know, still practicing white code. She was just having fun, pretending to be what some would call a ghetto person, but just racism. I suspect everyone in this clip that we heard was a racist.
This video, in my opinion, gives more of a theorem versus a theory to Francis West Wilson's theory of genetic white survival. If you notice, her entire problem was that somewhere in my existence there is some Black penis. So how dare you call me a racist because I'm the one that's accepted into quote unquote Black culture. So it became we're looking at kind of a newer version of what white people term as the traitor or the nigger lover. That's what this was.
Yeah.
The nigger lover.
The Grays.
She's all delectable Negroed out. If you really notice, she's like, yeah, you know nothing about this Black dick because she's upset. This is the age-old scenario with the Yoruba. They hate each other. They do not see each other as counterparts. They see each other as opposites. This is an entire book of the Yoruba in one little video. The entire concept that the Dogon made about the missing genetic parts of the Yoruba. This is it right here. They're not mates. The opposite of a Black man isn't a white man. It's a Black woman, but it's a complement. We're looking at what the problem is right here.
It was fascinating to hear her, just brag about, ingesting the Black phallus and, degrade their white phallus, call it shrimply dick, and she understands the system. She understands how to, make a white man maybe self-aware of their genetic deficit of hey, I was happened to be born a person classified as white. I am a global minority and ain't many people like me. It's like everyone else is got color in their skin, but here I am with this white skin. The white woman, she can always just go get some Black phallus ingested into her. She can even produce color things. Black people can come out of her, but me, I just got what she called here shrimp penis. But yeah, I think you may be onto something about this is part of the problem. At least they don't have any harmony with each other, and the only reason they tolerate each other is because the system of white supremacy, the race problem, the real problems that they work together, not to maintain a happy home, not to raise, happy, kind children, but to maintain the system of white supremacy. This is what white people do together. That's it. It's the only reason to be white. It's the only reason why that classification exists, why all this race stuff exists. Because they created it. They created it to use it. You don't make something if you're not going to use it. They say, so it doesn't even matter if I'm white, Definitely does.
Hey, a Pokemon. I've never seen this one before. It's like what it's all about.
Boopy, the boop Pokemon. It uses its boobs to suck the blood of sleeping trainers.
Huh, that's kind of dark.
Boopies are incapable of feeling empathy towards other living beings.
Oh.
Some believe a boopy was involved in the increase in prices for life-saving pharmaceuticals.
What?
Boopy is wanted for war crimes in 13 countries.
Wait, just this Boopy or all of them?
Boopy worked with the CIA in the 80s to pump illegal narcotics into impoverished inner-city neighborhoods.
I don't think I want to catch a Boopy.
Boopy can learn and surf.
I've been having to watch all of it, but just a good clowning what the usual suspects are actually up to, sabotaging the planet, mistreating non-white people, but it's just clowning that sort of stuff. And if we pay attention to the words, what's dark? Why is everything bad dark? This creature looks kind of red, and it has said to be the things he's doing are very incorrect. I don't know if it's dark, but the language is so cliche in every YouTube video I watch, and anything I am exposed to in the system, I can expect to hear that dark word be used incorrectly because white supremacy is very powerful and real. Pathetic that this is the kind of planet I had to come to, but doing what I can to attempt to solve it. All right, and we are at our final clip.
Hey!
Keep going.
I'm scared of niggas like you.
I'm putting this on Facebook too.
Put it on Facebook, you
Yeah.
nigger. Everybody around here's scared of niggas like you.
Oh, you scared of me, are you?
You want a bunch of abos on you?
I've had a bunch of abos on me. Guess what? I wasted them all.
Oh, you
hated them.
You wasted them all the abos, did you? You wasted all the abos. You wasted all the abos.
Oh no, this is
Why don't
fucking
you
good.
try and talk
This is
properly?
good.
Oh.
She talked
That
like a
was a good
retard and
shot.
then tells me.
Didn't fucking knock me out, did ya?
I didn't want to knock you out.
Oh, you tried hard.
No, I didn't.
You tried your
Look, I just
fucking
wanted to get you out of my
hardest, lady.
face, that's all.
You tried your hardest.
Please leave.
It'll be on video that you
Please
knocked me out.
leave.
Keep your video.
Leave. Now.
Keep your video. I ain't going nowhere. This is my friend's house. And
Well, I'm
anything
sure
else
she'd be
that you've
very
taken-
upset to see her neighbour has come over and started abusing her workers.
No, she won't. I'm protecting her house. She's my neighbour.
From
She's been
what?
my neighbour for 6 years.
I don't care.
I
We're
don't
just here
care.
to do some work, mate.
And that's all I was trying to do. But you...
No, you came over here rubbing your nose into our business. Called him an arrogant Russian.
Young Marys like you. You haven't earned any respect to live in this country, and you all get deported, and you're up for assault, because it's all on your little video. There's neighbours out the back that saw you fucking punch me. You got witnesses everywhere. She's got neighbours everywhere. She's got witnesses everywhere. I've got witnesses everywhere. No, I'm the one that's got witnesses everywhere.
It's my business. Huh?
Right? What's the address here, right? What's the address here? You know the number? Because I know it.
Probably yes.
And I want my tobacco back that you just fucking stole, you little nigger.
What tobacco?
The tobacco I had in my hand. Hello?
Gee, I think you're high off your
Please,
face.
please, immediately, urgently. I'm being attacked.
Man, like clockwork, their behavior, white supremacist behavior. But yeah, if I do wish all races acted in this manner, so non-white people would not be confused about what we're dealing with. But it's very it may appear common that these slip-ups happen, that this hardcore white supremacy is practiced this way. But yeah, just fascinating. So yeah, and then this is a different part of the plantation. This may be what they know as Australia. I don't know, but I know it's not the plantation I am on, but she still seems to be understanding of what a nigger is, a victim of racism, someone who this word can be thrown at, and because they're confused, it's a very powerful word. But the Black female who's recording, she doesn't appear to react, to the word. So that made Black self-respect. Because I don't know, a person calling me nigger, Do not care. I know it. And you're gonna help me out now since you know what I am. You know what's been done to me. Yeah, I'm gonna pause and see if Mr. Yahweh wants to share a word.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I would use this in the context of the principle Francisco S. Welsing talks about the chessboard and the power of the white queen. I was just having this conversation with my birth giver victim unit earlier about the power. The lowest white person is still higher than any trillionaire Black person. And she couldn't understand that concept. In this video right here, I would never share this with her, but it just lets me know that the confusion and the system is real. Because if this dilapidated creature that can barely stand up can sidebar, I work in the industry. You can never get the Yorugu too drunk. They operate better when they're off substances. And this video shows it. That's what I want to say.
Fascinating. So actually, we do have some more clips we're gonna share. We're just gonna cover everything. Let me do a new that's not. All right, yep, we do have more huge backlog, so we're gonna not going to watch this one. This one was moved. Yeah, and if you aren't seeing it, there are swastikas floating around on this ride. You know, this ride had to be designed by somebody. It could be an inside joke. I don't believe in coincidences in the system.
If you see this, please save us. Trump. If you see this, please save us. This is America. This is.
I remember this video. Yeah, we don't need to watch this. This is just grotesque. This a grotesque white lady, suspected racist. My error.
Hey Alexa, I want you to fucking fart for me.
I think you just whispered to me. From now on, when you whisper, I will whisper back.
Oh, you're
You can
a dirty
always say,
bitch.
turn off whisper mode.
Oh my god, Alexa,
I'd rather.
fart for me.
Okay, here's big fart.
Oh shit. Oh.
That was a deep one.
Oh yeah.
Shall I play another fart sound?
Yeah, give me another one. Come on.
Oh.
So yeah, just the Yorugu and the technology and their depravities. All right, so
Weird conversation with me, like 2 months into us dating. It made me think that she had some like different motives to dating me. Made me uncomfortable. She was like, Jeff, I'm happy to finally be with a white man. Black dudes, you can't trust them. They're just gonna cheat on you. They ain't. You know how uncomfortable you feel right now? Imagine how I felt. This is in real life for me. This is just a story for you. I felt uncomfortable as shit. I didn't know what to do. So I talked to a black friend of mine. His name's Josh. I was like, Josh, told him the whole story. He's like, Jeff, I'll tell you what you got to do, but you might not like it. I'm like, all right, let me have it. He's like, Jeff, for the culture, you got to cheat on that. That's what.
So just some extra refinement, a white person joking about when he was sexually suing a black female. She told him what she's been trained to do, what her mom was trained to do, what her mama's mom was probably trained to do, which is to, you know, give information to racist men. So she told him, hey, she told him this indirectly. She didn't use the words I'm going to use, but she said, hey, the system has driven me to really you know, hate black males, and I'm with you to produce animosity from them. I want them to see us together, and I want them to get annoyed by that, because some of them are aware that we shouldn't be together because there's a race war going on, and they may get angry at that. I'm not one of those people. When I see a non-white person getting sexually sued by a white person, hey, it's tragic, but it's to be expected. And hope they are able to escape the situation, but I don't count on it ever. And again, with this, the black male who is giving him a suggestion, an incorrect suggestion, you know, he should be like, hey, why are you with a black female? But black people aren't aware of counter-racist logic, so we're not gonna have these utterances yet. But I'll pause. And Mr. Jai, would you like to share a word about any of the stuff I played?
That's how cool they are. No other minority in America is cool enough to own their own slur. All right, you never see Chinese people walking around just going, hey yo, my chinks. Yo, where my chinks at? Yo, holler at me chinks. Yeah, my chinks. Hey, stay yellow, my fellows. Whoa. Sounds awful. Like, black people are so cool, they can own their own racial slur. Okay? That's how cool they are. No other minority in America is cool enough to own their own
Intense confusion about what's happening on planet Earth, you know. The only just in the anti-blackness, you know, everyone seems to be less confused about the system of white supremacy than people classified as black. I may be in error, but it seems that this person was able to observe, hey, it's quite bizarre how these black people, they call themselves a racial slur. You know, they may have changed a couple of letters, but it's sort of the same thing. It's kind of bizarre. And he's mocking that fact here in his stand-up, but referring to himself as a minorities, it's confused white people. If minority means that there is a limited number of the population, then white people are global minority. If minority means you're acting like a child, then correct, because his mind has been sabotaged and retarded. That, man, it's the best he can do. You know, these are the best his thoughts are allowed to compute, because his mind has been so damaged by the system of white supremacy. And it goes, this is true to all victims of racism, myself extra included. To be expected, but this is what the program is all about, just to point out the obvious. You know, this should be obvious at this point. Once counter-racism and counter-racist logic is as popular as anything else that non-white people are able to get popular, when we see stuff like this, we should be able to snap our fingers and get it.
Bullshit. Right there. Hey, buddy, you're hit. Come on, man. Come on, walk off, man. Yo, come on. Come on, bro.
Right in the fucking face like that? Really?
Come on, bro. Come on. Walk off. Walk off, man.
So yeah, they're playing the game. You're supposed to be like shooting each other, but you know, the Urugu, you know, insane creature, you know, the game is about conflict, but the game causes more conflict. And allegedly he's hitting a female. 'Cause I saw this video circulating elsewhere, and they said there was a female, a white woman he was hitting, but I can't tell. Either way, white culture, what it means to be white power, the whole lot. And now we are at our true final clip. Possibly, I may remember some more.
Today?
Why is that?
They'll fucking kill you.
Really?
Yeah, do you want to fucking die today?
Why is that?
They'll fucking kill you, that's why.
Really? Why is that?
Yeah, because you want to fucking die today?
Kids, go off the train. This is bullshit, okay?
You want to fucking die today?
Not really. I was gonna offer you a fucking bag of weed and you're trying to fucking kill me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You offer me a bag of fucking weed.
Do you want one?
No, I want to kill you.
Really?
Yeah. I want you to die.
Well, not a very fucking good idea, man.
No?
No. It's not a good idea at all.
If I killed you right now, do you think anyone would do anything about it?
No, I'm gonna go down here.
Do you think I'd go to jail? Do you think the cops would arrest me? Do you think they'd charge me? No, they let me go, actually. You would lose your life, you'd lie on the ground, you're sorry-ass piece of shit, you'd shit yourself, and the cops would let me fucking go, because that's how much of a fucking loser you are. That's how everyone in this fucking train would agree with me against you after you died, and no one would fucking argue, and I'd walk fucking free. Did you know that? Want to fucking bet on it? You'd be dead. What fucking argue with it?
Have a good night, buddy.
Yeah, some more white on white conflict, white on white observations. I mean, observations of just the Urugu, incomplete being, energy. They have energy inside of them that they can't release it in a constructive manner. It has to be conflict. You know, they may pretend to be crazy. I don't believe in a crazy white person. I just think that's just the Urugu, and it's dealing with this inner conflict, inner incompleteness. You know, check out the text, Urugu by Marambani. Yeah, would you like to share about this clip or any of the other ones I played before we head out?
I just want to just quote unquote piggyback what you just said. In my opinion, the text Urugu is very telling, and it complements Billy Fuller's code and the ISIS papers. I look at those as a threefold text. And once those texts are really investigated and put through a scientific method, as suggested by Robert Williams many times, and Salt and Pepper Space, doing experiments, like seeing if these proofs and theories pan out, because we have to understand it in terms of that. Like that goes back to the slavery T-shirt with the pyramids. Like that's so that's just a lie. Like it promotes the Bible. It promotes that, like, everyone knows the pyramids are like the most mathematically sound anything on the planet, and that's why it's used especially for perversion. So to say that this is made by, those three texts, Urugu, United Independent Compensatory Code System, and the ISIS papers, I suggest those will give a very precise and accurate depiction of what we're going through. Not depiction, but reality, a worldview reality.
And indeed. And fortunately, we have book studies on all three of those books. This clip said more motivation and reasons. Hey, yeah, we gotta be suspicious of these people classified as white, because any one of them could be just, it's a short fuse. Just wait, just give me a reason, like Clint Eastwood says in his movies, make my day. A lot of them sometimes looking for a reason for a non-white person to give them a reason to practice some direct violence, racism. So it must be suspicious. This is white on white interaction. So if they are not even willing to treat each other correctly, just that allows us to understand why they've been just brutalizing us for so long. They don't care about each other so much. They care about maintaining the system of white supremacy. So now I'm going to check out the chat. I think before we adjourn from now on, I'm gonna check out the chat, make sure I don't miss anything that may have been of constructive value from the chat. So I'm gonna, let's see. Sour Kids, greetings. Yeah, we don't own anything. This is not a cool thing. However, calling ourselves victims of white supremacy, if the N word means that we are calling ourselves the correct word, calling ourselves victims of racism is the correct description of us. Yeah, precisely. Miss Christine Williams, he makes it plain, I want to kill you. Yeah, that's direct, very rare. Most of the system is operated with deception and indirectness. But yeah, that was very direct. But we must understand that the game plan is mistreating in all 9 areas. They may not, they will rarely ever say it, but that's the game plan. That's what they're thinking. That's what the system is all about. Yeah, Morgan Jones, she's been saying a lot of constructive stuff throughout the broadcast. This chick is straight drunk. How are you gonna say it's your friend's house and you asked the address? Yeah. Yeah, I will also observe that she was drunk. I didn't notice. I just thought she was just white supremacists doing what they want to do. Mr. Brandon Williams. Oh no, she did not. Does she seem ignorant about white supremacy racism? She did not. She did not seem. He also described her as she looks very demonic. BGQ. Oh yeah, and about that video with the meme with the boopy, or with the creature that's supposed to be like a Pokemon type meme entertainment. Yeah, a lot of code words were other impoverished neighborhood, inner city, code words for areas that white people allow non-white people to suffer, and they chemically sabotage those areas with drugs, and sabotage those areas with poor education and limited access to healthy food. Just a number of things. Off with a so-called impoverished, it's a race camp, impoverished neighborhood, inner city, just a race camp, a deplorable area, like most of planet Earth, where white people are forced to exist because we can't. Most of us can't move at due haste like white people can. T Stacks, I did not curse or you. Oh, I'm not aware. I did not curse or use foul language. Why was my comment deleted? I am not aware. I would hope that one of the moderators who can answer that question will do so, unless it was just a glitch or something that to be expected. Anything else? Da Vinci as well. This game. Oh, reprobate. I remember that word. Some sort of incorrect creature mentioned in the Bible that does incorrect things, evil spirit, evil behaviors. Truth. Yeah, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if white people have allowed you to, have a little bit extra nickels, send some my way. Most of our videos have in our descriptions ways for you to send me some nickels. That being said, I'm going to see Mr. Yahoo has some words to share. If not, no worries. I will just play our outro.
I would just say, constructive business meeting. I hope that listeners and participants get a better grasp of the system that we have been born into. And that's it. Thank you for your time and energy to everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Yahoo, and thank all the folks for their constructive information and for participating in the broadcast and commenting. And I will attempt to do much better of sharing the information you guys share in the chat.
You are alive.
With that being said, we will be here again in due time.
You are alive.
No.